What if I told you that one of college football's most historic teams and one of its most passionate fan bases, the West Virginia Mountaineers, could be left out of any future conversations regarding power conference sports? That's what we're talking about in today's episode of Couz's Corner, and I have some numbers, and they might just shock you. But here's the twist. West Virginia is not going down without a fight. Let's talk about the harsh reality that could be facing the Mountaineers in future realignment scenarios and the bold moves WVU is making to try and change that fate. We're going to have that conversation, and I'll explain it all right now. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner, your home for top shelf college sports news and analysis around the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Big 12. If you care about college football's future or just want to see how a legacy program fights for survival, stick around. And also don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives like this several times a week. Before I get into the content, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my childhood heroes, Hulk Hogan. He has passed away today. I know a lot of you probably don't like him because of some of the controversy later in his life. All of that aside, he's still a human being. He still has a family. And as a kid, I looked up to Hulk Hogan. Most of you that follow me know I'm a huge wrestling fan. So this is a sad day for me. It's a sad day for pretty much all wrestling fans around the world. So prayers for Hulk Hogan, for Hulk Hogan's family, his friends, and fans and colleagues, because he was still, he was still traveling and doing business. He had a beer company, all that. It's a sad day. Anyway, just want to show that out there. And in his honor, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? All right. Let's start with the hard truth. If the Big 12 ever dissolves, or the SEC and Big 10 ever decide to split from the rest of college sports and form their own super league, West Virginia could end up being relegated to what is now considered G6 status. They could lose their seat at the power conference table. The SEC and Big 10, the so-called Power 2, they're after one thing. That word is value. And based on some articles that have been published, one recently and one at the end of 24, which I'm going to provide numbers from, West Virginia's value is not perceived to be very high. We all know conference expansion is now a corporate decision. It's all based on a business. College sports is a business now. It's about market size. It's about revenue potential. It's about brand value. It's not about tradition. It's not about loyalty, not about how many wins you have, not about any of that stuff. And there are reports from both CNBC and the Athletic that I'm going to talk about that reinforces all of that. The first article was from last year in CNBC, and I'm going to leave links to these articles, and in a second, I'm going to show you some numbers, okay? And for those of you listening, I'm going to read some of the numbers. An article last year at CNBC estimated the value of the top 70 athletic departments in college sports, including West Virginia's. And the results are sobering. Compared to most of the Power 4 and even most Big 12 schools, WVU lags behind. They ranked 60th out of the 70 programs evaluated in college sports, college athletic departments evaluated. The same can be said for West Virginia. They also lagged behind in a recent article done by The Athletic. Matt Baker wrote an article with help from Scott Docterman and others. They looked at what college football programs might sell for today. If they were being run like professional sports franchises and they were being bought and sold by owners, what would college football programs sell for? West Virginia came in at 53rd on that list out of all 68 power programs. 53rd out of 68 power programs. Again, near the bottom. Not a good place to be. Now, I have the data that I'm going to show you here in just a minute, but as you'll see, WVU ranks near the bottom in value despite having a loyal fan base, despite its place as a top 15th winningest program of all time. But as you'll see, when you look at these numbers, if conferences were drafting like the NFL, West Virginia might not even make the second round of the draft. That's how staggering this is. So let's go and pull up those numbers now. Or for those of you watching, as you'll see, West Virginia is 11th in the Big 12 as far as their overall athletic department valuation. And they are 10th in the Big 12 as far as the value of their football program and what it would potentially sell for. Now, these numbers were not just made up by journalists, by the way, okay? They used outside sources, people from the private capital world, people that work maybe in and around finance world, business world, those types of people like that. They had numbers that they used. And, they used data from professional sports franchises. They used various things to come up with this formula. There was some subjectivity involved in the athletic one, not as much in CNBC, but they did not just make these numbers up, folks. This worries me because the people that are being used as sources for some of these numbers are people who might actually could influence some of these decisions, and it makes me nervous. But right now, what I have on the screen for those of you listening are all the Big 12 schools, all 16 Big 12 schools. All right. When you look at the CNBC athletic department valuations, they have Texas Tech listed first, coming in with a valuation of $619 million. It's obviously based on Texas Tech being in the state of Texas. It's based on, how many donors they have, all of that kind of stuff. All right. Number 2 is Kansas. Number 3 is TCU. Number 4 is Arizona. 5 is Baylor. 6, Oklahoma State. 7, Iowa State. 8, Colorado. 9, Utah. 10, K-State. 11, West Virginia. 12, BYU. 13, Arizona State. 14, Cincinnati. 15, UCF. 16, Houston. Now, Houston was not even in the top 70, so they weren't even really listed on CNBC's article, but they obviously would be last in the conference because all the other schools were in the top 70, with UCF coming in at number 70. Now, when you look at the athletic article and how much college football programs might sell for, Utah was 1, TCU was 2, Texas Tech 3, Oklahoma State 4, Arizona State 5, Iowa State 6, Colorado 7, K-State 8, BYU 9, West Virginia 10, Arizona 11, Baylor 12, UCF 13, Kansas 14, Cincinnati 15, Houston 16. The top team, Utah, would sell for an estimated $539 million, according to Matt Baker and the folks over the Athletic. Now, they based it on the fact they're in the big, they based it on their media deal money, based on, how much revenue the football program brings in, the trajectory, all that kind of stuff mattered. Where they were, the market they're located in mattered, right? A lot of this stuff, some of this stuff is things that hurt West Virginia. That's why Wren Baker has been so adamant about, getting more premium seating at Milan Puskar Stadium to increase revenue. Most of these programs probably already have a lot more of that than West Virginia does. And if they don't, they're in the process of getting it. West Virginia's started the process, but they're still quite a ways out from actually implementing anything like that. So as a fan of West Virginia, I'm concerned when I see numbers like this. And I'm really concerned that West Virginia, if there's ever a breakaway and they decide to take the top 48 or top 60 teams or something like that, West Virginia could get left out of that. And that makes me nervous. So what they've got to try to do is make sure, that the Big 12 stays together, and B, that West Virginia remains in that league, because looking at these numbers, West Virginia's not getting into Power 2 anytime soon, if ever, right? When you see they're not even going to make a short list of Power 2 candidates, okay? That's obvious right now. So, the moral of the story is, without a major market or a high number of deep-pocketed boosters, West Virginia isn't on the short list for the Power 2, like I just mentioned. No matter how loud us fans are, no matter how many times we beat our chest, or how many, where we are on the all-time wins list, none of that matters anymore, man. But I want you to let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think WVU ever has a shot at the SEC or the Big Ten? Do you think the P2 will eventually split? And if so, would West Virginia make the cut? Before we get into the second half of the show, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor here, Appalachia Digital. They're the fine folks who created the website over at wvsportschat.com. Go check that site out. You'll see how good of a job they do. If you need a new website design, go check them out. Go to appalachiadigital.com/Couz. Let them know I sent you. It's also a way for you to reach out to them, let them know, hey, I want a new website. Or if you have a website and you want to improve it, they'll do that too. Or if you just want to get found easier on Google, they also specialize in SEO services. So check them out, AppalachiaDigital.com/Couz, and they can help you out today. And I want to thank them for supporting what we're doing here at Couz's Corner and over at WVSportsChat.com. So, is WVU doomed to irrelevance in the next round of realignment? It may appear so when you look at all the outside noise and the data. But as our friend Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend, because behind the scenes, West Virginia is working hard to increase revenue and make Mountaineer athletics more valuable. As a matter of fact, they have recently announced 4 strategic moves and those 4 moves may not change everything, but they are all steps in helping West Virginia earn more revenue and hopefully create more value for the future. Move number 1, obviously, is one that just got announced, and this one's not even part of my list, but they just extended Wren Baker's contract, okay, through another 2 years through 2032. That's a huge move, smart move. They need to do that because he is the guy who can take West Virginia into the next era of college athletics. He's an outside-the-box thinker, a forward thinker. I think he's the guy to lead us or to lead WVU. But the first move I want to talk about other than that is West Virginia. I've talked on the show about how West Virginia created Golden Blue Enterprises. It's a for-profit entity that they created inside the athletic department to help increase the revenue for the athletic department, right? They're going to run it like a corporation, like a business. A lot of schools are going down this road. But it's basically a private in-house business unit. And so instead of relying on university bureaucracy when trying to make decisions that affect the athletic department, they can now make those. They will still get input from the university, but they won't have to go through as much red tape. It's a more business-minded type setup, and they have now hired an executive to run that. His name is Don Robinson, and he's a former president of MVB Financial Corporation. He was the CEO of MVB. He has experience in finance, his experience in business development, all things that are going to be important in this next era of college athletics and helping boost revenue for athletic departments. He's going to lead that charge. He's going to help with branding. He's going to help with NIL. He's going to help with sponsorship strategy, all those things, just like a business. So they bring in a guy with that type of experience. I think this signals a clear message that West Virginia is done playing defense. They're trying to build a brand that sells. Unfortunately, I hope they're not too far behind the 8 ball on that. They might be, unfortunately, but at least they're trying. They're not sitting on their hands doing nothing. It's also going to help them. They're trying to make sure they might meet the $20.5 million in revenue sharing that they have to meet. All of these moves are part of that, as well as part of increasing future value as well. Move number 2, they recently signed an agreement, a unique deal with Swilled Dog Bourbon. Now, Swilled Dog Bourbon, most of you remember, had partnered with Country Roads Trust, West Virginia's NIL collective. Well, now that collective has been brought in-house, Swilled Dog is partnering with Mountaineer Athletics, right? They're the official bourbon of Mountaineer Athletics. And it's not just a booze partnership. It's a revenue generator tied to local pride, alumni nostalgia, and tailgate culture. We all know Mountaineer fans love the tailgate. They love their moonshine. They love their bourbon. They love their alcohol. They love to have a good time. It's a big deal. It's a big deal in all college football programs, but especially a school like West Virginia. And I think this is a great partnership. Swill Dog will now be able to put the West Virginia Flying WV on their bottles. They will likely be advertising now at West Virginia events. So it's everybody wins. Swill Dog wins by likely being able to sell more product, and West Virginia wins by getting that, hopefully that ad revenue that will come in from Swill Dog being a partner. Move 3 I want to talk about is another partnership they struck with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness will now be a partner for West Virginia. They will have advertisements, TV visible advertisements during West Virginia sporting events. So as we're watching the games, we'll be able to see Planet Fitness logos. So that's an ad partnership or a sponsorship that will benefit West Virginia as well. And then move 4, the one I'm really excited about and one that's really, to me, outside the box. There's actually language in the new contract for head coach Rich Rodriguez that will benefit the football program through some of his key slogans. We all talk about hard edge. We all talk about hold the rope. We all talk about spot the ball. All of those are slogans that Rich Rod came up with, right? And in his contract, and this is a shout out to the folks at 24/7 Sports, where I first read this. But West Virginia recognizes that those are the, quote, personal indicia of Coach, end quote. They understand that he owns those slogans. And anything sold with those on it, apparently he will make profit from. But they also included language where West Virginia will make 50% of the royalties, quote, arising out of the sale or licensing of merchandise by the university, end quote. Using those slogans, it will go to the football team as directed by Coach with the approval of the director, end quote. So Rich Rod can make money off the sale from merchandise with those slogans, but the West Virginia football program will make money as well. So everybody wins. Rich Rod wins, more money in his pocket. Matter of fact, it could be more money in his pocket directly and on the back end, because if West Virginia's football program improves, he will get more bonuses and higher pay. So it's the rising tide lifts all boats in this case. But I think this is a very outside the box idea. Rich Rod comes in with these slogans that everybody loves, West Virginia fans know and love. Capitalize on that. It's something I had a feeling would happen. I didn't see it being written into his contract, though. I just figured somebody would come up with merch, which, by the way, I've already seen floating around on social media. But now WVU, it looks like WVU may actually start marketing merch with those slogans on it. Coach Rod and Coach Rod will make part of the royalties, and so will the football program. So these four ideas that Wren Baker and others are coming up with, to me, are all great ideas. Now, those moves alone are not going to save WVU from falling behind in college football's brutal realignment race. But one thing's for sure, they can't hurt. They're all part of the game plan being implemented by Wren Baker and the WVU administration. They will likely be followed by even more moves like selling naming rights to the Coliseum or to Mountaineer Field, even more sponsorship opportunities with other corporations. The premium seating that I mentioned earlier in the video is crucial to West Virginia gaining revenue. They've started that process, the behind the scenes stuff that they have to do there. You know, we're talking to architectural firms and talking to the board and all these other things. All of that stuff, that is in motion, but these other moves that they can make quicker are happening. And they're happening now seemingly on a daily basis. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about these moves that West Virginia's making. Let me know about the Swill Dog partnership, the Planet Fitness partnership, hiring of Don Robinson to be the CEO of Blue and Gold Enterprises. What do you think about this unique language written into Rich Rod's contract where the football program benefits from, you know, the sale of merch with his slogans on it? And also, if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for me. That goes a long way in getting my content out to other people. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Subscribing, by the way, is absolutely free. Doesn't cost you a thing. What could cost something if you choose to do so is becoming a paid VIP channel member. If you want to be a paid VIP member, like the folks whose names are scrolling along the bottom of the screen, if you want to be a paid VIP member, hit that join button below. And if you don't see a join button, there should be one over at my channel homepage, right beside my channel logo, which is the profile photo of the channel. There also may be a link in the description box. But the random shout outs, which is one of the perks, the random VIP shout outs of this episode are Crispy0_0, Cody Cutright, CEO of the Sofa, Shannon Miller, and Tanner Tracks Premier. Thank them all for being paid members. Also want to give another shout out to my sponsor, Appalachia Digital. Shout out to Rogue Media Network, who I'm blessed to be a part of. Shout out to you for watching. I really appreciate it. YouTube thinks you'll like this video as well. If you like this one, please check it out. I hope the rest of your day is top shelf. God bless, and cue country roads.